Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for attending this presentation of the 7th International Conference on Eco-Engineering Development 2023. Let me introduce myself. My name is Natalia Devi Restuti Mulyodarsono from the Food Technology Department of Bina University, and Sir Kristopo, the corresponding author. We completed a paper entitled The Water Hygiene of Street Food Vendors in Southeast Asia, a Review. This paper relates to the topic of sustainable water and sanitation. This presentation is structured as follows: an abstract, introduction, methods, results and discussion, and conclusion. First, I'd like to give you an overview of the water used by Southeast Asia street food vendors to wash cutlery that is not hygienic and may cause foodborne illness. Our objective is to summarize the water hygiene of the street food vendors in Southeast Asia. Prisma guidelines were used to find suitable sources for this systematic review. The results show that the water hygiene system in street food vendors in Southeast Asia is still relatively unhygienic because most still use bucket water or non-tap water, which can contaminate food and lead to foodborne illness. Turning our attention to the hygiene of street food vendors in Southeast Asia is critical, especially regarding the water hygiene. It starts from the water used to wash equipment to the water used to process food. The World Health Organization indicates that as many as 600 million people fall ill each year, of which 420,000 die after consuming contaminated food. Southeast Asia is believed to have the highest incidence and death rates associated with foodborne disease. Previous research only mentions the importance of proper cutlery washing and presents data on microorganisms found in cutlery that need to be washed with clean water. Another study is limited to the water type at one location only. Furthermore, the discussion on water hygiene and sanitation is aligned with Goal 6 of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, namely, clean water and sanitation. Therefore, a summary of the water hygiene of street food vendors in Southeast Asia is needed to complete the areas that need to be analyzed in the existing literature. This systematic review utilized the PRISMA protocol as shown in the figure. A thorough search will be conducted in electronic database including ScienceDirect, PubMed, Sage, EBSCOhost, Taylor and Francis, and Scopus to determine the purpose of identifying related research. I want to illustrate this point by showing you this table. Based on our findings, 78% of studies mention that street food vendors use bucket water, followed by tap water at 11%, and mix of tap water and bucket water at 11%. This percentage shows that most street food vendors in Southeast Asia use tap water as the primary water resource for washing equipment and water-related activities. In Southeast Asia, street food vendors use two types of water as their sources, namely potable and non-potable. 77.78% of studies mention that street food vendors use non-potable water, and 22.22% use potable water. Bucket water and non-potable water can serve as a breeding environment for bacteria that when consumed can colonize the gut and alter the microbiota there, as well as oversee several metabolic processes linked to human health. Street food vendors in Indonesia are associated with inadequate hand washing practices and facilities. 65% of water, 91% of this water, and 100% of the ice from these street food vendors were contaminated with fecal coliforms. 149 street food vendors refilled water containers 0 until 20 times during working hours. Bottled water, bucket water, and pump-collected groundwater were the sources of potable water utilized. Salmonella nontyphoid, E. coli, Shigella, Campylobacter, and Aeromonas were the five most significant pathogens isolated from Malaysian street food vendors. In addition to a lack of awareness, the situation is greatly influenced by socio-demographic, selling experience, water availability, personal hygiene, and cultural food handling customs. In some areas, street food vendors use tap water or potable water, so it can reduce the likelihood of microbial contamination. Vietnam street food vendors show no clean water available at vending locations. 52.5% of the stalls lack direct access to potable water, 47.5% lack adequate hand cleansing facilities, and 30% lack wastewater and food disposal facilities. Most vendors reuse the same water to cleanse their utensils throughout the day, which may result in cross-contamination between water and food. 224 Thailand street food vendors pay little heed to clean water supply and wastewater management. Water for washing is typically collected in small containers and used repetitively. This allows the food to have high microbial contamination. The water hygiene used by Myanmar street food vendors has been undervalued until now. Many vendors use water unfit for human ingestion, such as river water used directly for dishwashing. This results in an increase in the incidence of disease caused by inadequate water quality. From 54 Philippine street food vendors, 94.4% wash their utensils with bucket water from restroom. This water from toilets is not sterile, as bathrooms are synonymous with human waste disposal sites where microbial contamination of water used for commercial purposes can occur. Some vendors alter the washing and cleansing twice daily, whereas others continue using the same liquids throughout the day. Information on the hygiene of water used by street food vendors in other Southeast Asia countries, including Singapore, Brunei Darussalam, and Cambodia, has not been found. The water used by street food vendors in Southeast Asia is also one of the essential points in realizing the sixth goal of the SDG. Using clean water and sanitation by street food vendors can improve public health and economic growth. Based on the previous discussion regarding the hygiene of the water used by street food vendors, it is still poorly maintained and needs to be changed to using running water and potable water. In conclusion, let me sum up my main points. Most street food vendors in Southeast Asia still use buckets and non-potable water to carry out their activities. The bucket water is used repeatedly and rarely replaced due to the lack of access to clean water around the selling area. Water use frequently will increase the growth of microorganisms, contaminating tableware and food sold by street food vendors, and causing foodborne disease. The awareness of vendors in terms of using clean water and the role of the government in providing clean water and sanitation that is easily accessible is needed. Street vendors can also move their selling places to places with access to proper water sanitation, such as running water, so that the sixth goal of the SDG can be achieved. The references used in making this paper can be seen by scanning the QR code on the screen. Thank you for your attention. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you today. Now, I am happy to answer any questions you might have.